Thank you for joining me. This is Katie Whitledge with a Beyond the Technique podcast. Today, you're going to meet the unorthodox stylist. And what does it mean to embody traits of being an unorthodox stylist? We have first time guest Allison Monchek here. She has
Hello.
a passion for this industry. This woman has done a lot in a very short amount of time and so successful and has multiple business models that us as owners can be very inspired by. After acquiring her cosmetology license at the age of 17, she earned her master's degree in education. And now she's been behind the chair for over 14 years. She's been educating over 5 years. She volunteers her time at local hair schools and mentors her salon staff by teaching classes and running in depth apprenticeship and assistantship program. We're going to learn about that. She balances educating life with both independent in salon classes and traveling for hair shows, presenting on stage or in workshops. As a stylist and educator, she truly believes in efficiency and relatability. She offers education that everyday hairstylists can easily and confidently incorporate behind the chair. Some of her accolades, which is so cool, include she's a part of the Arete artist team. So we'll learn about that today. The Fancy team. She was recognized as Hairbrained Blow Dry Video of the Year and Beauty Launchpad Top 50 under 50K. Behind the Chair One Shot finalist, named a Top 100 for Modern Salon, and 7 Hair Care Content Creator of the Year in 2023 and 2024. So she's, like I said, done so much and has time to be a multiple location business owner with various business models. So I'm super excited to bring Allison Monchek. Welcome to Beyond the Technique.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure. And to read your bio and learn about you, it's just so inspiring. You are clearly a visionary and a very creative woman and smart. And I'm really thankful that you are taking time to impart your wisdom on us today. I'm curious this journey, though, like being a hairstylist or like getting your degree at 17 and yet going to school to get a master's degree. Tell me a bit about how this journey started for you and that unique process.
Yeah, I think my story was pretty unique because when I was in high school, my parents were very much so, you need to go to college to be successful. And college just wasn't calling for me in many ways, but it was something that I felt like I needed to do. I needed to make my parents proud. I was the firstborn. I had little brothers looking up to me. So I think when I was a sophomore, there's actually a little like career fair that came to the school, and it was called a six district compact. And so here and there in some cities, so not all cities have this opportunity, but you're able to get your cosmetology license in high school. And when they came to my school, I have always been a very creative kid. I was always painting and drawing and playing outside and doing all the things. And cosmetology just stood out to me. I didn't have anybody that was in my family that was a cosmetologist, hairstylist, nothing. And it was something that I was like, well, as a sophomore, I'm thinking, well, this would be a good job to have as like a side job while I'm working and while I'm in college and everything. Like I never thought that it was going to be a full-time job for me. That was really never the intention. So I was pretty young for my grade, which led to graduating at 17 and getting my license then. And I worked as a cosmetologist for most of my undergrad years, mostly part time. And my undergrad was in high school history. It's called integrated social studies. And I think by my junior year, I was just really struggling with loving it. And I had some crazy personal things happen by junior year, and I was really questioning what I wanted to really do. And so I went to grad school. And I just figured that I didn't want to be in a classroom teaching the same thing over and over again. I wanted to make a little bit more of a difference and have a little bit more flexibility. So I decided to get my master's degree in school counseling. And I did really love that. There were parts of the job that I didn't love, but I loved being there for the kids and helping them from anything from education to their career. And all the while, I was still continuing to work as a stylist and perfect my craft. And it was actually 2020 that was a really big turning point for me in my career.
Well, tell us about that. What was this? And of course, everybody's having these moments of like, what does my life mean, and what do I really want
Mhm.
out of life?
Yeah, I was actually a booth runner at the time, and luckily, my owners did not make us pay booth rent. So that had me saving some money, and I was also still being paid from the school, and I was able to work from home. And the ability to work from home and not be in this like cinder block office was a mental turning point for me. But the opportunity of saving money from booth rent, ultimately taking some people at home, and I had the idea to do curated hair boxes. And so people would buy boxes that were like a $40 price at a $60 value, a $60 price, $80 value. And they would fill out like this Google Doc of the things that they were missing in their hair regimen, what their hair was like. And for whatever reason, Salon Centric and Cosmo Prof are still open. So I was able to do little drive-bys and go pick up products or have them shipped to me. And I was shipping everywhere from, I mean, I'm in South Carolina and I was shipping to, I remember New York, a lot back home to Ohio. I was shipping to California and I actually made the news and they interviewed me with like an 8 foot pole. And I remember telling my boyfriend at the time, I was like, I've saved $16,000 and I had $16,000 in my Venmo from doing people's hair at home and sorry, I kicked my phone. From doing people's hair at home and from also selling all these hair boxes. And that's when I really started to think, can I open my own salon? Do I have to stay in this cinder block office all the time? Do I have to do this? And so after 2020 and I went back to school, I really tried to I tried to work out that career because I had put so many years and so much money into it. But I would say at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, I found a space that was a barber space that had left, and it was big enough for 2 chairs. It was kind of like a suite setup, but it wasn't in suites. But they already had plumbing for a shampoo bowl chair, and it was in like a cute little area of my town. And so with the money that I saved, I was like, well, instead of booth renting, I can open this. The rent wasn't too bad. And I had a second chair that I could rent out to someone. And ultimately, what they would pay me in rent would cover my bills. So honestly, if it wasn't for COVID and being able to save that money, I probably wouldn't have been able to afford to open my what I call now is my baby salon.
Oh my gosh, what a cool journey. And just innovation, going against any fears of judgment on your approach to help people who wanted hair care solutions while also being locked down during COVID. I just applaud that. That was controversial at the time, and but this is what it means to be unorthodox. And I want to actually ask you that. What does it mean to you? What does unorthodox mean to you? And specifically then how that plays out as a stylist.
Yeah. So I'd actually been talking to that boyfriend at the time when I had been thinking about can I open a salon? Can I do this? And I remember him asking me, well, what would you call it? And as a stylist, when I first started, I really struggled because I had to work. I did not have the opportunity to assist anybody. And so I always encourage people now who are graduating from school to please go assist because I really think that I could have been so much further along if it weren't for me just trying to learn things on my own, taking salon centric classes. I had no idea what I was doing. And I just felt that the way that I was taught by the book was just not working for me. My layers, horrible. My men's cuts, horrible. Like everything was just not good. And I'm such a perfectionist, and it was so hard on me to feel like in a way, this came so easy to me, but at the same time, I was really struggling because I had no mentorship, I had no guidance, and like the way that I was taught, and I'm trying to really feed into the way that how I was taught, and that's the way that I thought it should be. And I struggled and it wasn't for me. And so I ended up taking so many classes and figuring it out on my own just over time. And so when he asked me that, I said that I think I want to name it Unorthodox because by the book has just never worked for me. And I've learned my own unorthodox way of doing things to create the stylist that I am today. And some things that I might do backwards or weird or whatever, but like it's just what works for me. And I had to figure that out and learn it on my own. And that's pretty much why I came up with unorthodox. And there's a few more things that have branched off of that. Like I never, once I did open a big salon, I never wanted to be kind of like that sorority salon where you walk in and everyone looks the same and they're wearing the same thing and they're doing the same thing and they're all specializing in the same thing. That's something that I wanted to bring to my salon to be unorthodox, that I have an array of stylists that have 10 years of experience or they're baby stylists, or I have a fashion color specialist, I have a curly specialist. I want everyone to wear what they're comfortable in and have autonomy. I want people to specialize and niche down to what they want to niche down to. And so it's kind of just grown from there, honestly.
So yeah, what did that journey look like to go from your two-chair baby salon to then opening a salon? Tell us about that salon now and just your team dynamic.
Yeah. So I was in baby salon in February 2021. I called that the unorthodox birthday. And I did not have very much luck with this landlord. I had everything from flooding to electrical issues and people doing things in the hallway that they shouldn't be doing. I had a homicide detective come to my door looking for my neighbor. My the landlord would gaslight me. It was just a whole thing.
Thing.
And ironically, I would say it was in August that year, I had come across a salon on LoopNet. It was literally posted as a salon for rent. And this woman had three locations. And because of COVID and everything, she was wanting to close her third location. And she had actually left so much there. She left stations, a washer and dryer. She left really nice salon fatigue mats. And so I jumped on that. And by September, I signed the lease. And by the beginning of November, I opened up my salon. So that's another reason I actually called Baby Salon, because that was only open for 9 months. And so I opened the salon that I'm in now, and it has 7 chairs and two of them are mine because I typically double book, but I play some Tetris with some schedules and have some girls take my stations when I'm not working since I work part time. Um, the salon dynamic and everything, I think that's a whole other topic. It took me at least 3 years to build the team that I have now. And this past year was the first year that I felt the most confident in every person that I have in my salon. So it had definitely been a journey, but I'm really happy with where everything is at now with the salon.
I want to just point that out because so many owners or people listening who aspire to be an owner, the main reason you need startup capital is to build your human capital. It takes time, as you just pointed out, to build that great team culture that reflects the vision you have for that team dynamic. Whereas putting all your capital into having a beautiful, pretty build out is so risky because it is going to be a tremendous investment. You still need that cushion for the team dynamic. So I love that you brought that up because you were strategic in finding a space that was turnkey. And I think there's a big opportunity in 2026 for people looking for turnkey. There's going to be that. There's going to be that opportunity, and you just need that extra capital for the human aspect of growth. So when you say that you finally have that team dynamic that you've always wanted, what does that mean to you? It sounds like one of the things that for sure it is that everybody brings something unique to the table. They don't offer all the same things. They are showing up as their own authentic version of themselves. What else makes the team so special?
It's like having a bunch of little sisters that I never had. I grew up with two brothers, and um, I think at times they don't necessarily want to listen to me or hear it from me, but they're like, I know you're kind of like big sistering me right now, but I I don't know. I just love like all of their personalities. Everybody gets along really well. I think it took time for me to learn the balance of boundaries with salon ownership versus friendship. Um, but I think a lot of that has been worked out and figured out, and the people that I have a respect for me, that they know that just because we might be friendly and go out to dinner together and do those things together, that they still have a level of respect that I am the owner and that they do need to pull their weight and all of those things. So I love having the dynamic where there's mutual respect and mutual help. If I have any bit of free time at the salon, I'm also helping with laundry and doing things around the salon and showing that as an example. And I think that helps them to want to do the same. And I think the people that haven't had that mutual respect or mutual understanding, in a weird way, they just always find themselves out.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of which, you have a whole nother business model that you
Mhm.
created, which is having a suite rental opportunity. Tell us a bit about that. Was that created to be a next step path for your current team, or was it just an opportunity that showed up that you're like, why not? Let's do it. Tell me how that came to life and kind of the why behind it.
Um, Yeah, I think because sweets have just gotten so popular in the last however many years. And I felt that if I had any booth renters that wanted to have like their own space and experience that, that I didn't really have that next step for them. And I'm definitely more of an introverted person. And I feel that having an option for a suite for those introverted stylists or people that want to experience like a very small taste of what it would be like to own your own salon. I just wanted to offer something like that. And so I wanted to do something super small and cozy and intimate. And I found a space that I have six suites. One of them is a double suite, and most of them are all different sizes, different windows and options. But it's nothing huge. It's just something that's super cozy. There's a perfect little lobby area. I actually turned my double suite into a head spa that some of my commission girls are also working at. So they work part time at the head spa, part time at the salon. And then I rent out the other rooms to other business owners as well. So it doesn't have to just limit to hairstylists, because at the salon, I also felt limited because we have a nail salon next door. And so I was actually not allowed to have any nail techs. And so to be able to open the opportunity to other people in the beauty industry, lash techs, waxing, whoever, then I liked having that for the suites.
Okay, this is the second time in like less than a month that we're hearing about head spa. So for people listening who have never heard of this, I think I even misunderstood it. To me, a head spa was this additional piece of equipment you provided in your salon to do specific types of scalp. services or just a more in-depth shampoo, cleansing, conditioning experience, but is it like having a nail salon, but you call it a head spa and it's all about head hair care? Like, tell me, what is this? Because I clearly don't know the whole picture.
I think some people can definitely have a head spa type service at a salon, but to me, a head spa service is kind of like a facial, but for your scalp. So there's actually this whole facial type bed that has a shampoo bowl connected to it, and there's this ring that comes up, and there's some lights, and it's just a much more relaxing service. And some people find that it works for them in a salon setting, but I felt being in more of a private suite where it's quiet and you don't have blow dryers and all the things happening around you. So I developed this like step by step, I guess, program for the head spa. And we have someone come in and we explain to them that they'll change into a robe, take off any jewelry. We have them sit down in our salon chair that's also in there and explain the service if they've never had a head spa, ask if they have any questions, ask if they have any scalp concerns or anything that we can address. Some people have these little cameras that you can put on the scalp and see the scalp at a microscopic level to see like if there's a lot of buildup or anything like that. We wanted to focus it not so much as like a trichologist might, but more of just like a relaxing experience for people. So we don't have the cameras. We just ask people their routines and they might be struggling with their scalp. And then we let them get changed and then they get cozy under the blankets on the bed. And then I call them my head spa ritualists. They perform the service and they have an option to do like an hour long, a 90-minute, and then they can add on a blow dry or not have a blow dry. We even added like a dry head spa option for those that don't want to get their hair wet and they just want their head massaged and hair played with. So it's just like a nice little relaxing service option that I couldn't have at the salon.
I love it. And I love that you've done things in an unorthodox way, but it's still to serve clients in a really special way. So very cool. You have thousands and thousands of followers on social media. What is it that they are drawn most to? I clearly there's something that sets you apart. What do you believe that is that they're coming and like enjoying and finding inspiration from?
Honestly, I think a lot of it is just relatability, showing that no matter how many followers I have, I'm just like a normal salon owner and not that big of a city in South Carolina. And like I've had to build my clientele from the ground up. I built my salon by myself from the ground up. And I'm also just like any other hairstylist. I've been a commission stylist, I've been a booth renter, I've done everything. I've worked at an all men's haircut place. I've done literally everything. So I just like to share my experiences. And I think a lot of my followers came from me doing a lot of like funny videos and showing more of myself and more of my face on there. And then also just posting those like carousels that are really relatable and shareable for people. And I get so many people that are like, you're so real. Like, we need that in this industry because all these influencer hairstylists, like, it just seems so unattainable and like they don't care about, or they don't care. They don't understand like the smaller ground hairstylist, like
The
where they're
everyday
coming
grind,
from.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I try to relate to that on all levels.
You know, it's funny. You see your picture, you see the name Unorthodox Stylist, and you have kind of this idea in your head that you're going to be this bold, outspoken, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
you have this quiet confidence about you, this humble spirit. Where did that come from?
Um, Honestly, I think it's a mix of trauma and a lot of different experiences. And I've always just been a more introverted person. If you told me I would be speaking on stage in front of hundreds of people when I barely talked to anybody in high school, like it's just I could have never imagined I would be where I am. And so I think a lot of it just comes from stepping out of my comfort zone and just being so thankful for all of the opportunities that I've been given. And then even when I am given opportunities, I just try to do my absolute best.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, I think that you're incredibly inspiring, and I love that you have options for hairstyles throughout their career, from beginning to end, ongoing, I should say. And so I really applaud you for having that and putting it out there. What's understated is the amount of courage that it takes for every single thing that you've done in your journey. So I want to point that out because everybody faces fears, but you still showed up and gave it a shot. Like, you're introverted, and here you are on my podcast, right? Like, telling your story. So I love it.
Thank
Before we're
you.
finished, though, what would be some final words of encouragement or just wisdom for everybody listening today?
Probably just to let yourself define your journey. Don't compare yourself to other people because I think on social media, it's so easy to see other people growing faster than you or doing more things than you or having more opportunities or being recognized more. And I've been there and done that. And I have to just continue to remind myself that comparison is the thief of joy. So your journey and your path is your own, and you can build it as slow or as fast as you want, and don't compare it to anybody else.
It's really good. Thank you for that. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
and just your time with us. I want everybody to know you're listening. You can watch today's episode to see the faces behind the names. And also go to the links in our show notes to follow Allison. We have her Instagram there for you to begin following her. And just that relatability is huge. So thank you, Allison, for being with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here.
And thank you all for joining us here week after week. If you appreciate this platform, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening so that more people like yourself will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay strong.
Did you know over 60% of first-time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.